itself. Maybe this will help. Show you what I'm seeing. Nope. Oh, there you go. Boom. People came in. There you go. The logos are back. Comments are back. Excellent. Good morning from Tel Aviv, Israel. I have a colossal headache right now. One of those mornings. Anyway, good day planned for today. Meeting some really smart people, really cool people. This morning I'm meeting someone from one of the biggest Israeli enterprise companies. That's right. People said iPod, and we're on audio only already. That was quick. People said iPod, and they meant was MP3 player. They didn't mean the Apple player called iPod, right? And the same then became true for iPhone. iPhone became the standard word for smartphone. Can't believe we're on audio only. Wow, that bites. Let's wait for the so I was saying, it's just interesting how branding works, right? iPod came out and it was kind of like the default word for MP3 player. People referred to MP3 players as iPods. Then the same thing happened with iPhone. iPhone became the word for smartphone. Like, people who don't know, like, people say like iPhone, they just mean smartphone, or they did. Then Droid. Droid became the word to describe Android. Even though Droid is one line of devices made by Motorola, Droid became the word to describe Android. And that's really interesting to me. I think the same is true for hashtags. I think that people who know nothing about Twitter are kind of like, I hear this all the time. So this is my marketing strategy. I'm going to go on Twitter. Okay, what hashtag should I use? Like, dude, it's become like this word that like represents Twitter, hashtags, right? Even though hashtags, theoretically speaking, are absolutely not a main kind of use of Twitter. It's a side thing that we'll talk about why you use it, how you use it, but it's kind of become a thing. Like, hashtag is the word that people associate with tweeting, right? Anybody that doesn't know anything about Twitter, it's just like the iPod, the iPhone, the Droid of Twitter is the hashtag. Like, how many hashtags should I use? And, it's like these marketers who just like are getting started. It's like that's their buzzword, hashtag. They know nothing about it, and they don't know how to use it for the love of God. They don't know how to use it. And like, I was at a concert last night. I kid you not. First thing they showed on the huge screen, was the singer around the world doing his tour, and they showed hashtag New York, New space York, hashtag Los space Angeles. That's a fail, right? You can't hashtag two words, right? You can't hashtag with an apostrophe in the middle or with punctuation in the middle. It just doesn't work. But now we're already drilling down. Let's just get to like the principle, the concept here about hashtags, because I think they're totally misused, totally misunderstood, and honestly, it just kind of has to stop. It's super annoying. But let's just discuss, before we get into hashtags, what are you doing on the web? Who are you talking to? Honestly, if you're a marketer, it doesn't matter who you are. You're talking on Twitter. You're writing something on Twitter. You're writing on Facebook. Who are you talking to? Think about that question, right? Are you talking to people that you want to follow you? Or are you talking to people who are following you? Someone clicked follow. Are you addressing that person? Are you addressing the people who will find you via search or will hear about you and come check out your tweets? Or who are you talking to? And the answer should be the people that already clicked follow. They gave you their vote of confidence. Talk to them, right? Don't talk to people that you want to, reach, or you want to follow you. No, talk to the people that already followed you. So that means if you're tweeting a picture, if you're tweeting something, you're posting on Instagram, do not, for the love of God, add 50,000 hashtags to just get more followers. Because what are you in essence saying to the people who did follow you? You're saying, yeah, that's nice, thanks for following me, dude, but I don't really give a crap about you. I care about the people that are gonna follow me because I want to try to hijack search using 1 million hashtags. Okay, you don't like it? I'm spamming you with hashtags? Yeah, you're not my audience. Except they are your audience. Those are the people that followed you. So what you're doing is you're basically saying, you're giving them, God, audio only. Back on audio only. Oh, man, I had a debate with someone. I wouldn't even call it a debate. It was just ridiculous on Twitter for the last, I'd say, 10 to 12 hours. You can check that out. I don't want to name any names, but it was just utterly ridiculous, literally just laughable. I could not even find it. Just whatever. Go check out my last couple of tweets with someone and see kind of what happened there. It's just literally a joke. We are on audio only. Oh, boy. Okay, we're back. 64 people. Hello from Washington, D.C. I'm at a red light now, so I'm reading. Good morning, Roy. Good morning, Shari. Morning, Jeff. Welcome, dude. Your streams provide value even when they are audio only, bro. Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that, man. It isn't the case for most streams, but for yours, it most definitely is. I really appreciate that, Jeff. You're doing some amazing work here. I miss New York, and I get to visit it through your streams. Hi, social tech. Yeah, no, Neve, don't mess with me, man. It's too early in the morning. Loved your rant about hashtags in Twitter bios. Agree 100%. It makes no sense, and frankly, I pass judgment on people whenever I see it. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I love. Okay, not funny, Jeff. Stop with your hashtags. You're killing me. My eyes. Yeah, so we can hear you. Okay, good, Neve. So, hey, Melanie, good morning. Thanks for the favorite. So, again, the principle, before we talk about hashtags, is you're talking to the people that followed you. So, unless your hashtag provides them value, the people that already followed you, don't do it. Now, let's just talk kind of about the different kinds of hashtags. And by no means am I saying hashtags is not a legitimate tool, all right? I just hashtag catch. I just hashtag this tweet, catch, because Catch is a service that works on top of Meerkat that sends me a YouTube link as soon as I finish streaming because I hashtagged it. So that's an amazing use of hashtags. That is a legitimate use of hashtags. That's an effective use of hashtags. There's that option of, like getting some sort of a value from a service or whatever it is when you hashtag that, even though I will say I'm not a huge fan of the services using that. In this case, I guess that's the only way for them to know that you tweeted or that you streamed, so that's okay. But generally speaking, it's like, get this from us, but you have to hashtag. I'm not a big fan of that as a marketing tactic. But that aside, that's one way of, one reason somebody would hashtag on Twitter, because they get something from valuable from a company. But that aside, because that's an edge case that doesn't happen very often. The main uses of hashtags are two. The main kind of concept of hashtags is categorization. So if you're in a conference called Mobile World Congress and you want to now tweet something about the conference that you want people to be able to find easily, you're not going to tweet, I'm at Mobile World Congress and this is what happened, right? You can say, this is what happened, hashtag MWC, for example, or MWC15, whatever the hashtag is for that conference. Conferences are absolutely a great use of hashtags to just categorize, to find it. Wow, that's a loud motorcycle. To find an index of, or like a category of tweets about something. So for that, hashtags are fantastic. And that is really the main use, I would say, of the real hashtag as it should be. Hashtag great to aggregate event tweets. Yes, Neve, absolutely. Or like the YouTube, your tweets, yes. So definitely. To categorize tweets, both for the searcher and for the, the person who's brought, or I don't know what you want to call it, the broadcaster or whatever it is. You're tweeting something, you want to use a hashtag to categorize your tweet within, a category of an event. By all means, that's what it's great. That's what it's for. Not only an event, if you want to tweet about, I don't know what, let's say fashion, for example, and you want to be under a category of fashion. So it's okay maybe to use if fashion the word fashion is a hashtag that's used by people in fashion, then use it. That's fine. But by no means is it okay to tweet something with 7 hashtags in a tweet. Again, what are you trying to accomplish? You're trying to accomplish that you want people to find you and search. So what you're saying is to your followers, I don't care about you, I care more about people that haven't followed me yet, and therefore I'm going to spam you with hashtags. The principles apply, by the way, in case you had any doubts, on every platform. Twitter, definitely Instagram. On Instagram, it's totally abused. And trust me, I understand. I mean, I know many people that I like and respect, honestly, that are a big believer in hashtags on Instagram. So everything they post with 50 hashtags under it. I mean, it's not as bad because you don't have to do it in the actual post. You can do it in the comments. But as far as I'm concerned, it's still spam. Hashtag spam. I love buying Twitter ads against event hashtags. Yeah, Melanie, definitely for that. For categorizing, it's great. Twitter ads against, yeah. So I'll tell you what happened to us. I talked about this yesterday. At the Zula Summit, the conference that we did, so the hashtag was Zula Summit, and our competitors were buying ads for that hashtag, and that was obviously very flattering for us. And for that, fantastic. What are we accomplishing? Hashtags on Instagram? Melody, you're accomplishing that people can find you via search. But again, I'm not a big fan of that because I followed you on Instagram. I want to see your pictures. I don't want to see your hashtag spam. So, if, for example, you're posting a picture of fruit, you can hashtag fruit it, and then somebody who's looking for fruit pictures will find it because you hashtagged it, which works. And I don't have a problem with 1, 2, whatever. I'm not going to give you a number, but to those people, and there are so many of them, who post like 50 hashtags on their pictures on Instagram. Oh my God, that is so damn annoying. And I just honestly, to me, that's like and I'm telling you again, smart people do it. I'm here at WeWork, so I'm standing on the side. A lot of people do it. A lot of smart people do it. I follow many hashtags and filter based on a retweet of content. What is the maximum hashtags one should use? I mean, listen, again, there's no absolute rule in terms of whatever, but I would say if you're tweeting something, 1, 2 hashtags are cool. 7, not okay, right? You're, first of all, being silly because you're using up all your characters. But it's just, you're basically saying to your followers, I care more about people that haven't followed me than I care about you. And that's just not cool. So there's that option of using them for categorization. Do not, please, for the love of, do not use punctuation within a hashtag. Maybe you shouldn't use a word that needs an apostrophe if that's what you're doing, because putting punctuation in the middle of a hashtag or a space bar or anything else, it doesn't work. It breaks the hashtag. So don't do that. And please do not use hashtags in your Twitter bio. Again, 1, fine. 50, it's impossible to read and it's ineffective. It doesn't accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. Just don't do it. Like I always say, be human. That's not being human. That's being a robot. Don't do that. But then there's the other option, the other reason one might use a hashtag, and this is where I use it mostly. 95% of the hashtags that I use it kind of as humor. Kind of like sub-humor of the tweet. So I'll be like, eating a steak, hashtag yum, or hashtag yowza, or whatever it is. Something just to add like cuteness to a tweet. And that's fine. By all means do that. Again, don't use 20 or 7, but add humor, that's totally cool. But to use it like as a hijacker of search, and to use so many hashtags is just ridiculous, and it just needs not to be done. And again, it's just interesting to see how hashtags became this like word that like is associated with Twitter marketing. You can't do Twitter marketing without hashtags. That's BS. I can show you endless amounts of tweets that I've tweeted and other people have tweeted with no hashtags that went completely bonkers viral. So you can do it without hashtags. Again, sometimes hashtags are effective, but another thing don't do, and again, I don't even understand why I have to say this, but some people actually tweet things and use hashtags that are completely unrelated to what they're saying because, again, they want to, hijack search. Tweeting about an iPhone, and I'll be like, hashtag, food. Why? Because people search for food. Don't do that. That is so spammy and so ridiculous. And those people that use every single word of their sentence as a hashtag, why, hashtag why, and people did it here in the comments as a joke, and that's funny, but unfortunately, too many people really do it. I do funny hashtags on Instagram. Funny hashtags are cool. Again, that's just funny, but let me just read here. Has anyone mentioned... No, no one mentioned that. I'm not familiar. I will look it up. So if one needs more followers, how do you get them without hashtag vomiting? One does not need more followers. I fundamentally disagree with your premise. And unfortunately, you brought me to this topic that happened to me last night. And again, go look on Twitter if you want to see this in real life, because it's unbelievable that this did happen, but it did. And I don't mean to like trash someone, even though I guess I am, but he seems like a very nice guy, and I did confirm from reliable sources, friends of mine, that he's legit and he's a hard worker and he's all good, but like he completely misunderstands Twitter, in my humble opinion. And I told him to his face, so I don't feel so bad about saying it, but whatever it is. I met a guy at a conference and he's like, oh, I have 30,000 followers. I was like, fantastic. He's like, oh, and here's how I did it, and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked him up, and he's like, oh, I followed you. And I looked him up, and he wasn't following me. I said, you're not following me. He goes, which, by the way, was fine. And I was like, just, you're not following me. He's like, oh, yeah, I followed you. You didn't follow back, so I unfollowed. I'm like, okay. And then he sent me an article about how he got so many followers, and it's basically unfollow 100 people a day. Anybody who doesn't follow you back, unfollow them. It's like, what are you doing? And so he's all about strategic, like how to build your following. That's his goal. If that's your goal on Twitter, then I think you're doing it wrong. I don't think that's what it's about. If you can have one follower and a good connection with them, and that can lead to endless, exposure and traffic or whatever it is you're out to get. But I definitely don't think you should set your goal as getting more followers. You know what? You want to get more followers? Go buy followers if that's your goal. If you want to say I have 30,000 followers on Twitter, go buy followers. It's the silliest thing. And at the conference the other day, I was at KahinaCon. Someone asked Ari's conference. Someone asked, I work with a company and we tweet once a day and we don't get that much traction. I'm like, basically the company defined they need to tweet once a day. I'm like, how do you expect to get traction like that? The same thing applies for defining how many followers. I don't think that's the right metric at all. You could talk about impressions, you could talk about, mentions, you could talk about different things, but amount of followers, in my humble opinion, should not be the metric by which you measure success on Twitter. It's with Fallon and Justin Timberlake. You must watch. I will do. Nobody likes spam people. Has anyone mentioned? Okay, let's see. Be human. Yes, be human. It has been tested that hashtags work better in the first line of comments and not in the text of Instagram. Okay, Shari, is shorter the better characters is the best approach, Hillel? Yes, absolutely. Right? Just think of that. It's logic, right? I'm more prone to share something that I can consume quickly. I don't have to start reading and getting complicated. 2 max. I agree with you. I don't think more than 2 is normal. I follow many hashtags and filter based on retweet. What is the maximum hashtags? What are we accomplishing with hashtags? We talked about that. Okay, so good. Thanks for the mention of KahinaCon. You were awesome. Thank you, Ari. It was a great event. Very high quality event. Really good. Anyway, so the bottom line is just don't overuse it. Don't misuse it. Don't abuse it. And it's could it be a marketing tool? I mean, yeah, I understand how people use it as a marketing tool, but you're missing the point if all you're doing is defining yourself based on the number of followers that you get. And so this guy, I met him at this conference. I told you, he unfollowed me, and he sent me this article, and we're debating on Twitter last night because he tweeted me, "Did you see this speaker at KahinaCon? You like it? Retweet at Hill's Fuld." I go to his tweets, and he wrote the exact same tweet literally 50 times, tagging someone else each time. So I wrote him publicly, and I was like, does spamming people with the same tweet over and over again usually work for you? And then we had this whole debate back and forth, and he's like, I'm not spamming, whatever, and this and that. And, bottom line is, like, he's everything with him is strategic and, like, how to get more followers. I don't, in my humble opinion, that is absolutely not what Twitter's about. I said to him, it's a social platform. Be social, right? I talked about this in the past. I think social media is such a bad term. It's such a paradox. Social, right? It's two-way. Media is broadcast. I just don't like the term, but that's another topic for another time. In any case, you could see this debate last night, and seriously, let me know what you think if I was off. I don't think I was off. I think he's just completely missing the point. And then he sent me that article. Oh my God, I read that article. I couldn't even believe the things that he said there. Anyway, but again, he is a legit guy. He's a hard worker. I just think he gets Twitter wrong. I said to him, he sent me he's writing an article for the Huffington Post about it, and I replied to his email, and I said, I disagree with your premise of what Twitter's about. I just disagree with everything you think about Twitter. If your goal is to get more followers, then I think you're doing it wrong, period. I was going to mention that. It was hilarious. Who cares what Hillary does, Bill? She's not a marketing genius. Thanks for the mention. Hillary Clinton buys her followers. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, guys, bottom line is just use hashtags just like you use everything else on Twitter. Logically, use intelligence, use your brain. There's a reason you have it. Don't do things you don't understand what you're doing. Don't use fake hashtags. Don't use hashtag stuffing. Be human, and if you want to add some humor to your tweet with a hashtag, go by all means, that's cool. If you want to, categorize your tweet within a category of an event or whatever it is, also cool. 1, 2 hashtags, fine. 17 hashtags on Instagram, not okay. Not on Facebook, not on Twitter, not on Instagram, none of those things. I just don't understand the people that do that, and that's really, I love this hashtag. Thanks, Hillel. Be social. Thanks, Melanie. I appreciate it. Outside of marketing noise, Twitter is a great opportunity for one-to-one interaction. Yes, could not agree more. That's what it's about, one-to-one interaction. That's all, folks. I'm going into WeWork, and the bottom line is be human. It always comes back to that because I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, but that's what it comes back to. Be human. Use hashtags. Be a human being if you want to use hashtags. Don't be a robot. That's not what it's about. And if you want to just build followers, you can just be a robot and buy followers or do something else, but schedule everything you do, automate everything you do, cut off your tweets because you automate them from Facebook, do all this BS, just get more followers. You want to do that, but that's not what it's about. All right, guys, that's all. Have a wonderful day. This was a quick one because there's really not much else to say about hashtags. Use them intelligently. That's the bottom line. And again, as always, if you have ideas for other topics from Meerkat, shoot them over and I will try to address. And I think my next one's going to be about LinkedIn. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, what city are you in? I'm in Tel Aviv. Thank you for jumping in, and cool hashtag backwards. Okay, see you at WeWork later. Cool, Ari. See you soon, man. Peace, guys. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you may be in the world, and thank you for jumping in. I appreciate it. I know it's late at night. Yeah, just tweet me. And honestly, on Twitter, I rarely, ignore someone who tweets me. So if you have any questions or you want to just talk, just tweet me, and I'm happy to